major gambling busts with the NBA and the FBI getting busted. Not the NBA getting busted, but players and coaches and stuff. There's a few things I want to talk about. First of all, it was a grand scale all over the country, 3 different places, but the amount of how they did the fraud is incredible. The table that they were dealing on has x-ray where you can see the cards from underneath. That's insane. The chip distributor had a camera in it that could read cards. The players had glasses and or contacts that could see marked cards that you couldn't see without these specific lenses or something. And then there was a quarterback, quote unquote, who ran the show. They were cheating so much that sometimes the people recommended to each other, stop winning so much, you're going to make it obvious. What's really sick to me is they preyed upon people who are giddy over playing with an NBA star or an NBA coach. And that's real sick to me, using their celebrity to get these people to play so they can rip them off. Second of all, the total haul as of right now is only $7.1 million. These people are worth $10, $20, $50, $100 million, and they're still ripping people off to get $7 million? Something's not right. Another big thing is a great comment from one person on social media. Maybe we shouldn't have legalized sports gambling and draped it unavoidably across every professional league in America. You think? Totally agree. These guys, one of the players is accused of saying he has a foot injury when he didn't and getting out early so that people could bet on when he would be in or out. Every little scintilla of this game can be bet upon, or any game. And so that is what is so wrong, because they can cheat a little bit and win. And they're laundering money through this, all sorts of stuff. My point is that I don't have a problem if there's legalized gambling. I don't want it in my state, in the state of Texas. People say, we're losing all this money to Oklahoma, we're losing all this money to Louisiana. I don't care. I don't want it in my state. It brings crime. Just Google it. Don't believe me. It brings crime. The state of Connecticut Democrat legislature did a study and showed it did bring up crime at the casino, a lot. Same thing with the U.S. Department of Justice. So I don't want it legally. But this sports betting stuff is way over the top wrong. I've never supported it. And this is what can happen. Wire fraud, money laundering, working with the crime families, 6 New York crime families. It's insane. So this is great. One guy commented, the NBA is very concerned about the multiple arrests made as a result of the FBI sports gambling code. Use code multiple arrests for a 30% profit boost on a 3-leg parlay with DraftKings, the official gambling partner of the NBA. That's the best joke of the day. I'm going to play some audio. First of all, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver 2 days ago said this, and he knew something was wrong. He absolutely knew something was wrong. Let me show you that. Here we go. This is Adam Silver 2 days ago. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver. Here we go.
But we've asked some of our partners to pull back some of the prop bets, especially when they're on two-way players, guys who don't have the same stake in the competition, where, it's too easy to manipulate something which seems otherwise small and inconsequential to the overall score. We're trying to put in place, and learning as we go, and working with the betting companies, some additional controls to prevent sort of some of that manipulation.
He's trying to talk about...
All right, that's from Fox News. Do you think he actually knew that something was coming down the pike? Every little scintilla of betting on every little thing, and they let it in. When you let a little something in, lots of bad stuff can happen. Here it is. And here's Stephen A. Smith. He literally beclowned himself today when he said this. Here is Stephen A. Smith about this. This is so pathetic.
We know what world that I live in terms of politics. How many times, for one incident after another, have I said, Trump is coming? He's coming. I'm going to say it on national television again. Bad Bunny is performing at the Super Bowl, and all of a sudden you hearing ICE is going to be there, looking to engage in mass deportations.
Yes!
The Super Bowl, disrupting things.
Yes!
Big night for the NBA. Wembanyama put on a show. That has now been smeared because we're talking about this story, okay? Remember, Trump has a long, long history connected to the world of sports because he had those casinos. Where do you think folks were coming half the time?
Here's where he comes in and says it's all Trump. This is Trump's shaking down the NBA and all.
I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about the culture. When people want to go to a casino, when people want to gamble, when people want to party, or whatever the case may be, this was his kind of connection to that. Why am I glad you're here, Monica? Because don't be surprised if the WNBA is next on his list. Because when you've got all of these protests that have been going out there and people that have been protesting against him and what have you.
Yes, throwing dildos all over the court. Yes. Don't be surprised. And then you hear, all leftist ESPN.
This man is coming. He's coming.
Yes, it's Trump. He's coming. It's all Trump. The only problem with Stephen A. Smith's ridiculous and horribly and stupidly crafted argument on this is that this investigation began 4 years ago in the Biden Justice Department. 4 years ago. Trump's been president for 9 to 10 months, depending on whose count you want to make. This has nothing to do with Trump. Everything to do with the Biden Justice Department. And 3 years into their investigation, Trump Justice Department taking over and letting it happen because what Stephen A. Smith saying we should let NBA players and coaches and such steal millions from people in gambling rackets? Get out of here, dude. He should apologize and come forward and admit that was totally wrong. Hopefully he will. Meantime, let's get to illegals. The Florida AG's office, remember that Indian illegal who did a U-turn? You got 2 lanes going this way on the highway in Florida and 2 lanes coming this way, which is what all our highways basically are. And the illegal Indian driving a truck, we're talking a semi-truck, is going here, and here comes the traffic next to him parallel on the highway, and he just turns like that, and he cuts off and jackknifes and is accused of killing at least 3 people. I thought it was 5, actually, in Florida. Well, this just came out today. Florida AG's office says that this man, Harjinder Singh, failed his CDL, commercial driver license test, 10 times in a 2-month window in 2023 in the state of Washington. Singh also failed his air brakes knowledge test twice, and that the Washington State company that provided his behind-the-wheel CDL training attested he could speak English proficiently when he couldn't. Remember the Trump Department of Transportation pulled him aside after this crash killing these people, and they tested his English proficiency. He failed 9 out of 12 English proficiency questions. He doesn't speak the English nor read the English. There's more to come. Florida AG's office has sued California and Washington State via SCOTUS last week, asking SCOTUS to prevent those 2 states from issuing CDLs to illegals and accusing both states of not complying with federal safety and immigration status requirements when issuing CDLs. Ultimately, the state of Washington gave Singh a commercial driver license first, then the state of California gave him one. I will remind you, Oklahoma did a sting with with the Border Patrol and ICE and Oklahoma State Troopers. They pulled over every semi on Highway 40, the turnpike, for like 3 hours, and they got 7 trucks immediately of illegals who don't speak English. Their IDs had said no name. And they were issued from, I believe, New York, and either New York, California, or Washington State. They said that on their first day of the operation, they had to shut it down after 3 hours because they filled the entire lot that they were going to bring the trucks to. They had too many already. They didn't expect it to be so successful. 3 days later, they started this thing again on the turnpike. This time they got like 17 truckers. By the end of that week, the truckers had rerouted, all of them are rerouting around Oklahoma now because they know they're going to go to jail and they're going to be yanked. This is how bad it is. Now, this crash yesterday that I told you about and played for you, if you missed it, here it is. This happened in Los Angeles from ABC 7.
Exclusive dash cam video, which is now the subject of several law enforcement investigations. It shows the moment a red semi-truck plowed into a number of vehicles on the westbound 10 freeway in Ontario just after 1 p.m. yesterday. The CHP told the LA Times the driver of this big rig is a 21-year-old man who is now under arrest on suspicion of driving under the influence of drugs. A total of 4 semis were involved and also 4 passenger vehicles, one of them exploding in flames. 3 people were killed and 4 others were taken to local hospitals. This horrific crash happened just east of the 15 freeway.
2 of the people that were killed by this alleged illegal driving high or drunk, 2 of the people that were killed, one's a beloved local basketball coach and his wife, high school basketball coach. These are the sick things that happen from Joe Biden's illegals. This came out today from Bill Maluja and Fox News. Jashanpreet Singh, the semi-driver suspected of killing 3 people in a DWI crash on 10 freeway in Ontario, California, is an Indian illegal who was caught and released by Joe Biden in California in March 2022. ICE is placing a detainer request on him with the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, where he's in custody, suspicion of DUI causing great bodily injury and gross vehicular manslaughter while intoxicated. He was speeding under the influence, never hitting his brakes when he crashed into slow-moving traffic on the freeway, causing a devastating and deadly chain reaction that killed 3 people, including one of the cars that was hit just burst into flames immediately, as you heard that reporter at ABC 7 in Los Angeles say. Now we have something else. Let's go to Illinois. The 500 soldiers that Trump is about to deploy, he's been held back by federal courts, leftists from Illinois, judges. But when he's appealed to the Supreme Court, they're going to grant it because this is all legal in protection of federal property and federal officers. When the 500 Illinois National Guard folks are deployed, here's what you need to know. One of them, or 2 of them, are Democrats running for election, and they are both openly saying they will refuse to comply with their orders if they're called up to defend our federal buildings and federal officers in the course of their lawful duties. Here is an Illinois National Guard woman named Demi Palasek on CBS 2 in Chicago. Listen to this.
If you were activated to the Chicago mission, would you defy orders?
Absolutely. I would definitely say no.
Tell me why.
I mean, I'm not going to go against my community members, my family, and my culture, my neighbors, and I believe that this is the time to be on the right side of history.
In Illinois, there are around 200 people who are legal permanent residents, green card holders who are either part of the Army National Guard or the Air National Guard. Demi, I know you've spoken with some of them. Tell me what they're feeling right now.
So about 20,000 people in the military are undocumented or going through the green card process. Many of my soldiers are of the Hispanic community.
Many of my soldiers, she's a staff sergeant apparently. She's leading people to defect, to disobey, to defy the commander-in-chief. Listen to this.
And they did join to get themselves or their family documents. They are in sheer panic.
So there's a lot of illegals who can sign up and serve honorably for whatever it is, 4 years, or I don't know the exact amount. And then at the end of that, they can become a citizen by applying in this and that. I got no problem with that if they honorably serve. But this woman's loyalty, she said her mom was born in Mexico, I believe. Her loyalty is to Mexico and the Mexican army. She needs to be dishonorably discharged, and if she can be charged and put in the brig, she should be. This is leading, I don't know if you want to call it insurrection, this woman is leading her soldiers to disobey and defy the commander-in-chief. Lock her up and dishonorably discharge her and prosecute her to the fullest extent of military law if you can. Unbelievable. Unthinkable. Sick. Can you imagine our military when they're deployed to Iraq or Afghanistan or wherever saying, I'm not going because I object to this? It's unthinkable. I guess we shouldn't have people come in to try to get citizenship by joining our military. They're going to ruin it for some really honorable people that serve us, some of them who die in that service. It's sickening. In Dallas-Fort Worth, where I'm at, many of you are, Fort Worth ISD, Independent School District, has just been taken over by the TEA, who runs Texas Education Agency. And one of the district's campuses received its 5th consecutive unacceptable academic accountability rating following the 2023 school year. The district's number of F-rated campuses is at 11. 8 Fort Worth ISD schools received a failing grade 3 years in a row from 2023 to 2025. This is what happens when you have the Barack Hussein Obama military academy stuff that worships DEI. This is what happens when you have a board that worships DEI and elects incompetent superintendents. This is what you get. Failure. And they're training up and raising useful idiots who don't learn a damn thing, but learn to be a goon, an uneducated goon, to get given a degree they didn't earn, to then be Democrat, leftist, activist, and goons. They can be sicked on their Republican and conservative enemies. So I'm glad the TEA took it over. The agenda is going to be gone, hopefully. Also, this is in Dallas-Fort Worth as well. A University of Texas at Arlington professor busted for child pornography. Police found 254 images and 52 confirmed videos of child pornography. And this all started because, and he's in jail for Tarrant County tonight, when U.S. police detectives were monitoring a peer-to-peer network known for sharing child pornography. I want you to understand something. Whether they're local police or federal officers, there are people, or child trafficking and international trafficking, there are people all over this country who work in local police, federal law enforcement, and they are forced and they serve to hunt down child sex predators and pornographers, child pornographers. And they have to watch this, and they have to be exposed to this. And I want you to know, in my job being in media, over the years I've read a lot of stuff. And what I learned is the hell that they go through. Because once you see this stuff, you can never get it out of your head. And I vividly remember reading an article about one of these officers sitting at his table with his wife and kids and getting that call that there was time to take some action on something. This never leaves them. They're giving up a piece of their mental health. They're giving up a piece of their stability to have and exposing themselves to this vile stuff they have to watch and document to get these people. So I want to thank our officers, not only here in Euless, one of the suburbs of Dallas-Fort Worth, but all over this country, federal, local, state, and county. Thank you for doing this. You are heroes and you are warriors. Thank you for stopping these sick, vile people. Every time we talk about this stuff, when I was talking about Jerry Sandusky, there were so many times in his raping those boys. There were so many times when I'd be driving home at night, and I'd be so angry. I want to pound my fist on the dashboard, thinking about coming around. The vision when Jerry Sandusky stuff was going on, I had a vision that I would tell listeners about. I envisioned coming around that corner and seeing that son of a bleep raping a boy in that shower, and me having a baseball bat and coming up from behind that son of a bleep and whacking him full on in the back. It's just, it gives me visceral, vile anger at these sons of bees that are doing this to our children. Now we have, this is why we don't want Palestinian people coming into this country ever. Not one. Remember, 72% of them supported Hamas after they slaughtered and murdered 1,200 Jews and kidnapped 250 of them, raped them, tortured them, beheaded them, including children and women. Because 72% of them, after they did that, Hamas did that, they supported them. They support Hamas. So they support slaughtering Jews, torturing them, raping them, kidnapping them, butchering them, their babies, their women. Satanic stuff. I don't want one of them ever coming here. Look at Rashida Tlaib. She loves Hamas. She hates Jews. She will not denounce terrorism in Hamas, and she said nothing about the ceasefire. She refuses to denounce people in her district, radical Islamists chanting death to America in the streets. This is why we don't want one Palestinian coming into this country ever. Here's one in Canada who is just like the typical Palestinian, hates the West, hates freedom, and here she is walking up to her sister's neighbor's house and doing a social media post because it's real sick stuff with Halloween. Like it's like, you know, all these body parts hanging from the trees. It's fake for Halloween, but and I don't like that, and I wouldn't want that in my neighborhood. But I'm not gonna do a social media post about it. And I'm not gonna. And maybe I take a picture and have people debate about it. that's fine. But she is walking in their front yard and videoing this and saying vile things about the West and about Halloween. Let me play that for you. Here we go. There it is.
I just want to ask, is this okay? Is this like how holidays look like? This is like just across the street from my sister's. Like, is this okay? What's the fun about it?
She said, is this S word okay? Then she drops several F-bombs in here that are bleeped.
Like, what is the fun about it? What is civilized about it? What is holiday about it? Y'all, you like white people. You like Westerners. And
she doesn't like Westerners. She doesn't like white people. She's a perfect Hamas supporter, Jew hater, Palestinian in the West, in this case in Canada.
West, like, I don't know what to say. Like, everyone.
F everyone, F the West, F the whites. You know, I think if I were to walk upon her and say, oh, no, ma'am, don't worry. These body parts that are hanging from the tree for Halloween, those are Jews. Oh, I'm so sorry. This is great. Oh, inshallah. Oh. This is why Europe is being destroyed by Islamists that have invaded. They've allowed in there. They've invited them in, millions of them. Germany, England, and Britain will become Islamic states. Maybe 20 years from now, maybe 15, maybe 30 years from now, they will be Islamic states, and the freedoms will be gone. And they will be extensions of the Islamic states and countries in North Africa. So, for example, here's a few things. I talked about this yesterday with you. It's disgusting. Birmingham just banned Jews from coming to Birmingham because Tel Aviv soccer is going to be playing against the Birmingham soccer team. Birmingham is the second largest city in England, and they just banned Jews from coming to the tournament because they can't guarantee their safety because they've allowed Islamists to take over their country. They also cite, I think it was Antwerp or Belgium, so I don't know where it was exactly, but it was a couple years ago, if you recall, this was all in the national news, where Islamist cab drivers and Islamists came out of the woodwork and attacked Jews that were walking the streets enjoying tourism or were having a dinner in that European city where Tel Aviv played that day. And they beat the hell out of Jews. They chased them. They terrorized them and everything. So that is what having millions of Islamic people come in and take over your nation does. These sick Europeans. And second of all, Germany, yesterday I saw that Germany has banned Christmas markets this year because they, quote, can't defend them. Because Islamists keep showing up and plowing through with their cars and shooting and killing people at the Christmas markets in Germany. Europe has fallen because they are leftist and they have let Islamists invade their country. It's just disgusting. It's sick. And to think that they're such great allies, at least Britain is for sure, that this is happening, it's repulsive. And, of course, they're arresting people for freedom of speech violations that are just expressing their opinions. And that is what the Joe Biden and Democrat administrations would do here in this country. That's what they tried to do last administration, the Biden administration. Speaking of political stuff, the ballroom, this is great. The Trump ballroom and tearing down parts of the East Wing or the whole East Wing, whatever. Under this criticism, Trump administration decided to troll Democrats by releasing a timeline of major events at the White House, including construction. Quote, major events timeline of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue stretching back to 1791. They mentioned not only construction stuff, but also other things. Quote, former President Clinton's 1998 sex scandal with intern Monica Lewinsky and former President Barack Obama inviting a delegation of Muslim Brotherhood to the White House in 2012. Who are also included on the official timeline. But the most important one, before I get into those two, this is so awesome. They show cocaine discovered in the White House on the timeline. This is up on the White House today. And they show the transgender guy with his fake boobies, flashing on the White House on a Pride Day. So there he is taking pictures with Joe Biden, and then he had his fake breasts out, his implants out, and was showing them off on the White House. It says cocaine discovered, and that's the Hunter Biden picture. During Biden's administration, a U.S. Secret Service agent discovered a small zippered plastic bag containing, this is on the timeline, containing cocaine in the West Wing entrance lobby. Speculation has pointed to Hunter Biden, an admitted drug user. Additional evidence includes a laptop seized in 2019, which contains photos of frequent drug use alongside emails about foreign business dealings, Ukraine, China, involving his father, Joe, while he was vice president. And then on the Trans Day of Visibility in 2023 to 2024, Biden-Harris hosts transsexuals on the White House in 2023 and goes on to establish the Transgender Day of Visibility on the same day as Easter Sunday. And they got the isn't that sick? It's satanic. It is, actually. In the 1998 Bill Clinton scandal, it says right here, Clinton's affair with intern Monica Lewinsky was exposed, leading to the White House perjury investigations. Oval Office trysts fueled impeachment for obstruction. And then under the 2012 Muslim Brotherhood visit, it says, Obama hosts member of the Muslim Brotherhood, a group that promotes Islamist extremism and has ties to Hamas. Actually, the Muslim Brotherhood birthed Hamas. The Muslim Brotherhood is a designated terrorist organization by nearly a dozen nations. Amen. I'm glad they did that. Just a few quick points, too, on the guy in Maine running for Senate, Graham Plattner, with the Nazi tattoo on his chest that he's trying to hide by getting another tattoo over it. I love this. The Wall Street Journal headline, "Oops, I've had a Nazi tattoo for 18 years. Yes, somehow he doesn't know about it. His chief of staff resigned a week ago saying if Graham Plattner cannot even give his staff... Oh, wait, hold on. That was a separate part. I'll get to it in a moment. But his chief of staff resigned and said, quote, his political director resigned last week. Graham has an anti-Semitic tattoo on his chest. He's not an idiot. He's a military history buff. We cannot be this plainly stupid, she wrote, referring to her fellow Democrats, obviously pretending that a Nazi is okay in their party, because it is. Trump is a Nazi, but a real Nazi, if he's a Democrat, is okay. This also is very interesting. Exclusive. Graham Plattner called healthcare a basic human right. This is from the Washington Reporter. He described healthcare as a basic human right. He's running for Senate as a Democrat in the state of Maine. He raised over $3 million against the current health insurance system. He raised over $3 million for his campaign. He rails against the current health insurance system as a disaster, but he does not appear to provide the same type of coverage to his employees that he seems to believe is a necessity. Healthcare is a basic human right. Unless you work for my staff and I have $3 million in the bank, I'm not going to pay for your health care. It's a basic human right, but you're not going to get that when you're full-time working for me. It's a human right for everybody except for my staff. One Republican source said if Graham Plattner can't even give his staff health care, how does he expect to carry out his plan of health care for all? Ding, 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 ding.